What's going on, everyone? It's time to get some work done on some custom consoles. We didn't really get any packages in today, which is fine. We'll wait another day or two, other than these green LEDs. Now we've got a little copious amount of details to accomplish today on both of these, pretty similar things. We're going to finish getting our fan mounted here, which I did find some screws here, but we're going to pop the LEDs out of the spots that they're held in here and move them under the shell. That way it illuminates more inside than the actual fan blades themselves. And then one of them will splice one of these green LEDs into. You can see slid one into this end, and this is that bubble light. And we'll probably have this right below our window here, which is another thing we've got to do. Cut out a piece of plexiglass, fill in that. And more detail from the old Yoda build. We're still going to add a little bit of this just around here. I know some people liked it, some people really didn't like it, but I think it just really cleans up, especially this one being a full crystal clear fan frame, to kind of cover up the mounting points and just clean up this around here. Unlike this one, which has, you know, kind of that ghost or smoke clear outer frame, and with black screws I think it blends in just fine. Now I think I'm going to actually mount this to this top shell, that way it's wired right into this fan, and then this whole top shell is just one 3-pin connector right here that will obviously have to create a connection point either from the DVD drive, well probably just from the DVD drive, to add a little 3-pin connector. So you plug that in and then just set the whole top shell on that already has the window, lights, and all that kind of stuff attached to it. Speaking of windows, we need to get one cut as well for this hard drive. And then same thing, we'll probably use, I did have a bunch of LEDs, I just had to order them in green, but we got a bunch in UV, actually a whole other pack, even though I have a whole bunch more I forgot I had, but probably go ahead and put in, actually we need these ones for the hard drive, that's my bad. These are also UV, but they are 5 volts instead of 12, so those are going to work better. So we'll go ahead and get a hard drive made, even though, like I said, we're still waiting on the actual board, and hard drive, and all that stuff for this particular client build. But we're just trying to get everything ready to go, so when it's here, we can pretty much just assemble it and be good to go. So we'll have to get a hard drive harness and get some LEDs wired up for that. And yeah, just make sure it's ready to put the actual hard drive in when it gets here. Same thing on this one, we do have the holes drilled with some screws in there for now, but we need to find some actual mounting hardware. Make sure that they don't stick out too far on the bottom to hit like the DVD drive or something like that. And painting, we need to sand this down. I could just start with a new one, but this one's already mostly black. So we'll just sand this one down, repaint it, probably more in a flat black to match our buttons on our faceplate, which I also realize this power button is a little scratched up. We'll probably see if we can put a different one on there. And then same with eject button. We'll go ahead and start with this white one since I just happen to have it. It's going to be easier to paint than the chrome ones. We shouldn't even have to really sand it or anything. This one's very clean, ready to go. And speaking of painting, I think want to actually paint just this end of this bubble light. We'll have to push this LED back out. But that way, one, it's going to hide the source of the light, so that from like a certain angle you won't see that one bright spot where the light is actually coming from. And also I think if we go with like a silver color, it might represent a lightsaber a little bit more. And then maybe we can even get this other end off so that it's literally just like this on the other end, like a lightsaber. So yeah, we'll get that stuff painted. We'll probably start on that. That way those things can dry while we start cutting out windows and stuff. And yeah, knock a bunch of stuff off the list. Oh, and last thing is going to be the fans. On both of these, I think we're going to go with a triple 40mm setup in the back. So we need to make sure they line up with pre-existing holes or make new ones or modify ones. Okay, we're going to let this stuff dry. Apparently all I had was gloss black, so I guess we could just repaint the memory card doors if we really want to. Probably look a little better. So let's go ahead and get the LEDs out of these spots here, get the fan installed officially, get that stuff around the outside, get our windows cut and installed, and by then that piece for this should be dry enough to install. See if we can, oh. Caught the faceplate with my elbow, and perfect. So that one end came off, and then with the silver on this end, it should for the most part resemble a lightsaber pretty well. Got it tightened up. Now I may need to just break a little bit of this wall off since we plan on running this LED. We'll splice one of these green LEDs into it and just kind of run it around here and have it go right here, but obviously this is going to block right where that LED and wire sticks out, so we'll just break some of it off, actually pretty much just on the end here I guess, because we're going to have it kind of close to the bottom of this window is my plan. And then the other ones, you can see we've got them loose here instead of inside the frame. We can now glue them underneath in any direction we want to face them. We just need to kind of test fit it here, because obviously they're 5mm LEDs. If we stick one right here, it's going to get squished in between those two spots, so we just need to face them outwards, and all of this is very much glow in the dark. Got this one glued into place. I did not want to sand this one because we do want to be able to see through it, even though with a light sanding you'd probably still be able to see that lightsaber pretty well, but there's something else showing up detail wise that we definitely want to be able to see, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then we also put this window in. I put some letters on it backwards so that you can see it like that, hopefully without lights. It's not quite as noticeable, but when it's backlit it should be pretty noticeable. Now I think I was going to put UV LEDs under this, but I don't know, I could even put these green ones. These will go down to 3 volts, 3 to 12. So, I don't know, would green or purple look better? We're obviously going to have some purple on the inside with these, and then green with that lightsaber. Now we need to put this on top while these are still loose, so we can figure out exactly where we want to glue them in place, and then cut this one, as I mentioned like 3 times, to put this green LED on. That way we can make sure I don't just decide to put one here, and then it turns out it gets pinched, you know, on the fan shroud or something. We've got plenty of space in this corner. This one, wherever we want to put it, there's enough space between this and the DVD drive. Same with this one. This one's the side that doesn't quite have enough, which kind of is a bummer because I want that lightsaber light, bubble light, to start on this side, so the wire go here. But if we run from this one, we'd have to kind of go all the way around, or maybe we can pull them back and run it along with these wires and have it go that way. So I think we'll probably do that. And real quick, I had the idea, this one's very dirty, to take one of the older, crappier fans that I had, and I literally just took those and cut the center pieces off, because like I said, we're going to be using these, and I know I had sort of trouble when I used those in the past with the fan tunnel not having anything to clip onto here. It kind of holds that top piece, and there's also these gaps around here, and I think the last time I made a full custom fan shroud for it. But I think in this scenario I can basically now cut it across here and then somewhere down here at the bottom, so that it'll still go all the way around our 3 fans. And I did measure it sort of to make sure that it would fit in between here, even with this curve. So if this works out, we'll make a second one since we're doing the same setup on both of these. That way we can then install the 3 fans into the metal frame, and then basically just set this in, clip it around. It'll kind of help as, you know, help with the airflow as well. And I don't think we'll have to worry about actually painting them, because on neither of these builds you'll really see that far back. So we'll just kind of cut them out, clean them up. So we can kind of see what I was talking about here. This still clips in like factory, allows these to sit right here, and then we've got plenty of this stuff left over from another build. We'll kind of put that along here on those two edges, and then that bottom section will be left open to connect all of these together, daisy chain. We even cut a little section out of that corner there so we can feed that wire here to plug in to that connector, so these will be on 5 volts. So we need to make another one of these. We got 2 of these made. Even put a little brace on the top. So I need to finish gluing this one. So the next thing would be to daisy chain these together, so we don't have all of this. We just have one plug, and we can just kind of take the whole unit, install it, take that, put it on the outside, plug it in. Same thing with this one. We're going to save that part for later. So, in between the last clip and this one, I took a pretty violent tumble down the stairs, but also we got our X-Wing, and it is much bigger than I thought. I thought it'd be closer to the one we used in the last Yoda build that was probably like half the size of this one. And I had planned on putting it kind of partially in the fan tunnel, so it looks like it's sort of sunken, you know, in the swamp, like in the movie. I don't think that's going to work with this one. It just take up too much space. I don't know. Could probably have it sort of halfway out the top, like that, but yeah, I'm not sure about that. I think the smaller one would be better. But anyway, that's going to be pretty much it for now. We're going to do some wiring between now and the next video, kind of start the next videos with the wiring and finishing this stuff up. We got our motherboard for GtaV. Can't say I've ever actually gone out of my way to buy a Xenon board, but it is a fully working board apparently. And the next video you'll see, hopefully of this one, is the final assembly. Same with this one here, once we get the last couple things in. And as I mentioned, we still don't have the board for this one. This is kind of a dummy board, but we can at least plug this fan in to our power supply over there and see what it looks like with this light down here and the UV LEDs on the inside. Okay. I was able to sort of squeeze it down there, even though still not a fan. Maybe with the smaller heatsink, I could move it a little bit farther, but I don't know about that. There we are on 12 volts. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think so far, and we'll see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe.